This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
We're going to end it with Ryan Green, and he says, has there ever been a time when you have been in a public environment and feared for your life outside of wrestling?
Yeah. There was this, now this was before I got in the business. Okay. Living in Rome, rednecking around town with my buddies. There was a club called Triple H, and it was a rough joint. And Tuesday night was quarter beer night. They had a lot of bikers and rough crowd. Some of my buddies and I had a little beef with the bikers there locally, and we got into a couple squabbles and with those guys. Well, we happened to walk in, just me and one of my buddies, and we walked in, and I don't know who did it. I just know it happened. As soon as we walked in the door, I bought a beer, and before I could even take a sip out of it, somebody broke a long neck beer bottle over my head from behind. And it kind of knocked me a little bit goofy, but I just heard my friend say, they're in here. We got to get out of here. That's all he said. They're in here. We got to get out of here. So we went out the door, and all of a sudden, apparently this had been planned, because as soon as we got out the front door and started towards our car, another car comes screeching right up to us. And apparently they were in on the hit. All of a sudden, I just see on the other side where the driver's side is, my friend just punched the driver through the window. Boom. So when he did, all of a sudden, I'm watching this, and I've got the door jammed shut, so this guy can't get out. And all of a sudden, I see my buddy take off running. Now it goes from bang to he takes off running, and the guy steps out of the driver's side and goes right across the top of the car. Looked like to be a 45, and went boom. That could only have been 6 feet, right? How he missed me, I have no idea. But my buddy's running now down the parking lot, and it's bang, 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 click. He emptied the gun. All he would have had to have done, because I hit the deck and crawled up under the car. All he had to done was walk around the car and just drop down on the knee, and I was stuck.
Let my family save your family some cash. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but we will save you money. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of how much. SaveWithConrad.com.
I thought I was going to die that night. And thank God I heard the click. I rolled out from under it, took off to the car. My buddy had it cranked, and we got the hell out of there. How he missed me across the width of that vehicle, I'll never know.
Who in the world were these guys?
Just local biker group. And we were always getting it into. There was two clubs. There was the Triple H on one side, and there was the pub on the other side. And the college kids would go to the pub. Thursday night, I think, was their quarter beer night. Tuesday night was the one right across the street. It was just a rougher joint, but hey, it was open to the public. So me and my buddies were rednecks. We just, they weren't going to keep us out of there. Well, they did. They figured out a way to keep us out of there. But it was some rough times in Rome, Georgia.
And you never went back, I'm sure, after that experience.
Oh, sure we did.
Oh, okay. All right. Good for you.
When you're young, you're stupid, and you think you're indestructible. Really foolish. Not right away. Let me put it to you that way.
I'm starting to understand where this enforcer name really comes from here as I talk to you, Arn.
Yeah, it was defend thyself.
There you
About
go.
every time you went out of the house. In a little town like that, all you had to do was win a couple of fights, and now everybody wanted to try you.
Well, guys, that's wrapping us up for this week. He's the Predator. I'm Paul. Next week, Arn is back to the regular weekly program. It's June 1986. Jim Crockett Promotions. Ole returns, and the Horsemen continue to run roughshod as we're marching through the Great American Bash. But, man, this has been a lot of fun today. Did you enjoy this Ask Arn Anything? Just Scott is up next. He says, best bar fight you've ever seen and the best one you were ever a part of.
Oh, well, shit. Best one I've ever seen was Matt Bourne and Killer Bees, Brian Blair. Must have went on starting and stopping now probably 3 times. It had to go on 15 minutes. And Brian Blair, I've seen a couple of, he's told the story as well on a couple of sites. Man, it was one of the most intense things I've ever seen. It got broke up and, they kind of half-assed caught their breath, and they started in the bar at the hotel, worked their way out into the lobby. From the lobby, they worked their way out to the overhang area at the front doors of the hotel,
The lobby
right
area.
there.
Yeah. Entrance.
Yeah. And it went on 3 different times. And man, it ended up with Matt Bourne getting a big chunk bit out of his lip. Brian Blair bit a chunk out of his lip, about, I'd say 1.5 inches wide and about 1 inch deep.
Wow.
And that finished it up, but it was pretty intense. I got in a couple of little scrapes, but nothing where anybody really got hurt bad. I had a little go with Bourne, and I had a little go in the ring with Buzz Sawyer, but nothing where anybody got hurt. I hate the guys getting into a fight in our business because we're so close knit in the fact that I'm going to give you my body and you give me yours, and I'm going to return you back to your family safely. And if there's a beef between 2 guys, it makes it almost impossible for a period of time for them to work together. You can't trust them. So you're going to take a liberty, and it immediately splits a locker room because one guy's going to have guys that like them. The other guy's going to have friends that like them. So now you've got this tense situation. So I tried to avoid those as much as possible.
Sure.
I get it. It's a wrestling podcast, but he's saving us money on our mortgage. You really trust this process? The reviews don't lie. 5-star review after 5-star review. We make it fast, we make it easy, and it's no cost or obligation. Give us a shot to earn your business. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did, especially if you like keeping more.
Makes sense to me, Arn. The California Dream, J.D. Shea, is back, Arn, and he says in a lot of the promos, instead of Manny, you would say Manuel or Samuel instead of Sam. Was there a reasoning for that? Is that heat?
It's me being a smart ass and mispronouncing their name, calling them something different, but still close enough that you knew who I was talking about.
There you go.
And I was just learning my way. I was trying cheap shit, back then. I was trying to feel my way into what was going to be the proper promo for me, I guess.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.